Okay, we're back again working on John Deere 410 loader backhoe. We got the engine put in last time, and here today we're doing the rest of the engine brackets and miscellaneous bolts have to go in it, and get ready to get started and all that stuff put on, and all the miscellaneous accessories. Right now I'm getting the mounts put on the sides of the engine that bolt up to the bottom of the cab, and I didn't bother filming much of this because you saw me take a lot of the stuff off, and it's not really much to it, so I thought. And it's so tight walking in this area, I couldn't hardly get a camera in there and didn't really want to mess with it. So I'm going to show you what we ended up doing. It turned out to be a lot bigger deal than what I was really hoping it was going to be. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, now these are the brackets I'm talking about. They bolt up here to the side of the engine with those 3 bolt holes there. And then there's a, if I can get this to move right, and then there's a stud that hangs down right in here that nut goes on, and that's what holds the cab up. And this one here went on pretty easy. As you can see, we just have 1 bolt holding it in place, so I just need to get it angled up properly, get the rest of the bolts put in. That wasn't a big deal. However, though, on this side, you can see now we got the bracket put in place, and we got 1 bolt in holding it in. We ended up using this clamp to help hold it up, and we had to use this small bar here to get it pushed back to where it needed to be. Then while that was being pushed back, we had that bigger bar underneath that plate, and it was extending all the way out, as you can see. And we ended up having to just about stand on that bar to get this plate raised up just high enough to get that bolt put in. So this is what we came up with. We thought about maybe trying to get a jack put underneath it, but to be honest, there's not a whole lot of room to be walking right here. So if anyone's doing this project themselves, this might give you an idea of what you're going to be getting into on these brackets. I may have been able to leave them on and just unbolt them from the engine. But to be honest, you got some bolts way back in there. And I'm not sure if you can hardly get to them with those brackets on. Anyway, enough said about this. I'm going to go ahead and finish getting these brackets put on. And then I need to put on my intake and to get it out of the way and get all my hoses hooked up to the injectors and make sure to keep those clean. And it's slowly coming together. We still got a long ways to go, but it's gaining. And I can't wait for this to be finished. So I'm going to go ahead, get the camera up in the tripod, get the rest of these brackets put on, and we'll see what we can get done. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Okay, I think we're finally ready. We got the lines here on the injectors. That was a real hassle to get on. And I still need to mess with this hose here because I can't get it on the steel line. But I'll mess with that here later. I think we're finally ready here to put on the front end. And we'll see on how easy that goes. I think it's going to go a lot easier than what the engine was, but we'll find out. And we got the front end laying right here. It's been laying here since we took it off because we can't hardly move it because it weighs so insanely much. The counterweights on it alone, I believe, are 600 pounds. So it's going to be a test to the pallet forks on how well we can get it moved around. And it's going to be a lot easier than what it was with the original bucket on mobility. So let me get the camera set up here on the tripod, and we'll try to get all this put in place.
Eventually.
Okay, we just hit a bit of a snag. As you can see, it's now back in two pieces. We did not get together. We're thinking we have to take the front wheels here off of the backhoe, and because the front end's sitting too high, and we tried jacking up the backhoe, and it's raised up to the proper height, but the problem with it now is it is leaning back at an angle. I don't know how well you can tell the angle of it, but being is leaning back, nothing's wanting to line up, and we can't lean it forward because then the front axle is too tall. So it's kind of a catch-22 on what we can do here. So what we're thinking about doing here is, like I said, getting the front wheels pulled off here, and that should get us down low enough. However, though, we do not have time to do that right now. We spent all morning on this and finally gave up on it. And I got to call it quits here and try again later. And it is also so hot out here that it makes it miserable doing any work. And on top of all that, it's hot enough, my camera is wanting to overheat, and so it's not even wanting to work right. However, I am happy with the mobility and pallet forks, because if you remember, when we had the bucket on here, it was all we could do to move the front end, because the back of the mobility is off the ground. And even having a brother hanging out the back of it, so we could try to get it moved. But now with these pallet forks, we can easily pick it up, and have no problems at all with mobility, what tip of a Ford. All original plans were to pick the front end up by putting the forks underneath the counterweight, as what you saw earlier. But that didn't want to work because we did not think the length of the forks was going to hit the engine before the axle even got into place. So that didn't work out. So that's why we hunted here with chains, and that seems to be working pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture here, and this kind of sums up on how this day's been going. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave comments down below. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next week.